Hey guys, I don't know how I find this stuff. I found this about the secret detention program run by the CIA, where its contractors and the CIA designed and implemented an experimental program of forced disappearances, fugitive slave status, secret detention, torture, and cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment. In most of these documents, I was surprised to find that they were using sexual humiliation, white noise, putting bugs in the places where people lived. Actual, not like listening devices, although I'm sure that, but bugs, literally bugs. That program, the so-called Rendition, Detention, and Interrogation program, CIA torture program, was sanctioned and authorized at the highest level of the Bush administration. Again, now, why would you just do this to an ordinary citizen? Or a person brought here from another country that was stateless? Now, why would you do that unless the value of the DNA or value of the blood product or value of the organs was substantial? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't just target someone, when people say they're being targeted, I'm like, well, what do you know? Or who do you know? Okay, even who you know or what you know wouldn't be a justifiable reason to do this program. So then they said President Obama brought an end to it in Executive Order 13491, ensuring lawful interrogations. No. It continued, but to date has failed to hold anyone to account or to provide remedies or any form of reparation to victims and survivors. Wonder why. The creation and development of the CIA torture program, those government officials and contractors responsible, the nature and scope of the human rights violation perpetrated, and the names of at least 119 victims and survivors of these abuses, and the physical and psychological harms caused to them are detailed in Executive Summary of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, SSCI, which was publicly released on December 4th. Other official government documents confirm and elaborate on SCC. So let me see if I saw this detailed in. I feel like I saw something recently about the CIA abuse program. Let me see if I can find it. The CIA. This one includes sexual humiliation. Oh, this is the one. All right. I don't know if I showed you guys this or not, because I put up a lot of stuff. Medical guidelines. Why is there medical guidelines? Smoke. Handgun and power drill. Specific unauthorized or undocumented techniques. Handgun or power drill. Threats. Smoke. Stress positions. Stiff brushes. Brush and shackles. Waterboard technique. And then all of these are left out. Mock executions. I found the mock executions in the Black Panther documents too. So what I think they're doing is they're framing people for crimes they didn't commit. Where they're able to basically execute them. And then remember my mom's carving? I don't know if you guys remember this from, if you followed me before, where it said, "Our little Rosie." Okay, well, Rosie is Rikers. Rosie is the place at the detainee spot at Rikers Island. So, the fact that they're mocking your enslavement without you ever even knowing shows a hate crime. It's more than just a crime of theft of property, theft of organs, all the stuff that they did to me. It is a hate crime because they're bragging on they're making art and mocking the people that are enslaved. All right. So this shows a malicious act of violence against persons and against freedom. So it's called Rose Singer, Rikers. So, Correction Officers Benevolent Association. I find it weird that they just released some people from here. Bellevue Hospital Prison Ward, where they say you're crazy. Brooklyn Detention Complex. I mean, this is a hate crime, you guys. This is something, in 1979, they said I had Down syndrome and had to be permanently incarcerated. Well, I was never told. They also said in those documents I was programmed. I was stolen from a different country and brought here to be tortured. Now that, I never had any rights. Okay, why wouldn't you have rights to education? Why wouldn't you have rights to medical care? Why wouldn't you have legal rights? The only thing I can come up with is that you're stateless. I do have a birth record from, and I have that guy admitting I was born in England, but they also created fake birth records here. I don't know if that's also fake and I was actually born in Basque Country, or they claim that you are. You know what I mean? Because of your, I guess, value. But it's just, you have to understand how much money these people are worth. Otherwise, they wouldn't frame you for things. It just doesn't make sense. So we got Queens Detention. Anyway. So here we got sexually abusing females relatives in front of the detainees. We got and this other one, let me find the other one. This one's pretty interesting. Okay, again, this is, you can read it, terrorizing detainees or threats of torture and death. Okay, all of this happened to me. All of this happened to me while I was on American soil within their jurisdiction. So who's responsible for all this stuff? Let's see. Okay, so it's the creation of the CIA torture program. Okay, now why would they just torture people that aren't terrorists? They're telling us they're terrorists, but why? The person's DNA has to be of sufficient value. And when I say sufficient, I've shown you the documents where it's in the billions of dollars. Blood diamonds. So they're only saying there's at least this many. I think it's way bigger than that. There are people that are prevented from the rights to work. They're brought here from other countries and they're tortured by our government. By our government. And I guess they're not my government. If I'm stateless, then I wouldn't have a government. But the fact that they would create false papers to make it look like I was a citizen shows the wide use of different agencies to hide where you came from, hide your nationality. And this is just crazy. These people never get held accountable. So like when I watch this stuff on Twitter and they say people are getting court-martialed, they court-martialed me without telling me and deported me from the United States for being a drug trafficker. I've never drug trafficked anything in my life. So I wonder who else is being held for torture on American soil. And I do think that they should have the legal rights. They always decline to prosecute. No one is ever held accountable for the deaths because it's an organ, what they're doing is strictly for money. It's very, very sad. This person's never been officially notified of his death. Remember, I found the death record attached to my parents' property. I mean, that shows the level of depravity of, the people claiming to be my parents, too. So, United States efforts to prevent civil redress for victims and survivors. How many times have I sued? How many times have I sued over what happened to me? They've been repeatedly blocked by both the Bush and Obama administrations and the U.S. Congress. Department of Justice under both administrations has repeatedly invoked state secrets and immunity doctrines to shield government officials. Well, still, they should let you go free. They should, bring the confidential documents into chambers, tell the judge this, look, we stole her from her homeland for money, and we're going to let her free, but we're not going to tell her why, because they make it so that you can't get the documents. You have to find them in different ways, like, those Gitmo sexual assault documents I found shows that it's taken place all over the United States and in other countries. And then I showed you the Gitmo contracts. How could this happen to a person that has any nationality? I don't know. Victims, survivors, and their families have been able to secure redress, including apologies and compensation for the rehabilitation in civil courts. The Department of Justice, remember, sent somebody after me recently who gave me all of these things to humiliate me, like a red backpack where I had written a story about a red backpack. He gave me a photograph of a monkey. It wasn't a photo, it's an oil painting of a monkey in a blue dress. I had shopped with Karen Tucker, who wrote this violent, crazy, rageful letter about me buying this blue dress. I mean, they have done disgusting, despicable things as a hate crime against my race. Whatever my race is, which I think is a little different than their race, if you ask me. They also sought to limit the scope of forced disappearances, that shadow deportation, torture, and other cruel. And Congress knows about this. They sanction the torture. They sanction it. So I don't know if Congress also sanctions sexual assault, because Biden just came out and he said they're not allowed to do it anymore. They're not allowed to use sexual assault or sexual humiliation in war. But that is what they're doing to people. They're taking them from their homeland. So they can do whatever they want, steal your organs, steal your children. The United States hates children and women, hates them. Look at this. They're preventing victims and survivors' attempts to secure redress at the international level. They won't let us tell our stories because they hate women and children. Because that's who they're doing it to. Women and children. They're finding out their DNA and bringing them here and keeping them as slaves in this country. Yeah, the United States will never respond.